I'm Maurice, and I'd like to welcome everyone on behalf of Motherwell Cheshire. Following on from our Women's Days and continuing the theme of Women of Words, I'd like to welcome today speaking Jade Beckles. Jade is the owner of an anti-racism educational consultancy business, Inspirational. She's an anti-racism activist, a DEI enthusiast, and founder and chairperson of the Black Women's of Cheshire Association. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Hi everyone. As said, my name is Jade Beckles. I am an anti-racism activist, owner of Inspirational, founder and committee member of the Black Women's of Cheshire Facebook group. I'm going to be talking to you about Misogynoir, the space where sexism meets racism and is reserved for and uniquely detrimental to Black women. As I appear here before you all at this Women on Words Women's Day event, I will be so bold as to say that I feel mainstream feminism actively ignores the plight of the Black woman. So let's get into it. In 1851, an enslaved woman named Sojourner Truth performed her very powerful speech entitled "Ain't I a Woman?", which spoke of the very different treatment between Black and white women and how the feminist movement sweeping through that time didn't include her. What she was talking about was misogynoir. And here I am, 2022, 170 years later, complaining of the same concept, and not for the first time. Misogynoir has been spoken about by many high-profile feminists over the years: Dr. Shola Moshogbamimu, Kelechi Okofor, Françoise Vergès, the author of A Decolonial Feminism, actor Viola Davis, and even Maya Angelou herself. And so where I am ever required to choose between anti-racism and feminism, I choose anti-racism, but ain't I a woman too? So what does misogynoir look like? In a world where white women are told you must be pretty to be valued, Black women are told we must look like you. So we may relax our hair straight, contour our noses. He said, no likey, no lighty, but we see the very obvious no lighty, no likey. So we try to whiten the colour from our woman of, but somehow we're never quite right enough, never quite light enough. Our bodies are over-sexualized and objectified. Big bums, full of thighs, and even full of lips. Black bodies are suddenly beautiful, just not on Black bodies. European beauty standards telling our children they're ugly. Love Island telling our young women they are undesirable by all men, only lovable if fetishized. Our culture and heritage is stolen and placed on a marketplace for Black fishers to profit from without paying the full price, the price that Black women have to pay for being Black. We don't have the privilege of being able to wipe away our Blackness when it's inconvenient. And on top, ain't I a woman too? Misogynoir has life-changing and fatal consequences. Black women are up to 4 times more likely to die during pregnancy and childbirth here in the UK. COVID killed Black women up to 4.3 times more than white men and women. Cancer in Black women is more advanced at discovery, and then mortality rates are higher amongst Black women. This isn't due to our bodies, this is due to systemic racism. And I'm trying to find a circumstance that threatens to kill white women multiple times the rate of any other demographic, but I stop myself because ain't I a woman too? The heartbreaking murder of Sarah Everard brought well-needed attention to the violence women suffer at the hands of men here in the UK. But it took the equally vicious murders of women of colour, such as Sabina Nessa and sisters Nicole Smallman and Beba Henry, to see the disparities in police response, social media interaction, and media attention. Young Black girls are missing and sexually brutalised at much higher rates, yet missing white woman syndrome keeps the attention pointed firmly in the right direction, in the white direction. We are Black, we are women, we are going missing and we're dying. Do you not know that, or do you not care? Because ain't I a woman too? Hashtag say her name. At this point, I would want to talk to you about Child Q, but my heart still hurts. It's still too raw, and I'm still broken to tackle in detail that level of misogynoir on a Black child. We live in a world where Black children are not seen as children. Innocence and youth are stripped away from our children, figuratively and quite literally, because society sees Black children as more adult-like, more streetwise, and less deserving of that benefit of the doubt given to white children due to their age. In 1962, Malcolm X said that the most disrespected, the most unprotected, and the most neglected person was the Black woman. He was talking about misogynoir. But think of those words, think on those words. The most disrespected, the most unprotected, and the most neglected. Who would ever have thought that 60 years on, we could apply those words so perfectly to Child Q, a Black girl child? In another 60 years, will she still be asking, ain't I a woman too? The disdain the media and the public often display for Black women is hurtful and harmful. Dawn Butler, Naomi Osaka, Diane Abbott, Simone Biles, Charlene White, Caster Semenya, Meghan Markle. A high-profile white man can launch a full-scale attack on a woman of colour and was largely only challenged by anti-racism activists and other people of colour and the weatherman. Where was mainstream feminism? Our pain is shoved behind harmful stereotypes. Am I the strong Black woman? Or maybe I'm the angry Black woman. Nevertheless, ain't I a woman too? It is entirely possible to feel empathy for the Ukrainian people, but at the same time be furious at the so blatant show of racism in the media and at the Ukrainian and other borders deliberately refusing safe passage to people of colour. Visible signs saying no Blacks, pulling Black people, Black women, Black mothers off trains to replace them with white people. Black lives clearly not being seen as having the same value or worth saving as much as white lives. And the media so proudly reported that it was women and children first, but that was a lie. They meant white women and children first, then white men, and then the Blacks. We saw Black women crying, holding their hungry babies in arms, scared. And I can imagine sobbing, ain't I a woman too? To finish, the term misogynoir was created to provide a racialized nuance that mainstream feminism wasn't catching, failing to recognize and include the experiences of Black women, cis and trans. I wholly refuse to discuss equality within feminism unless that conversation is deep-rooted in the pursuit of racial equality, lest there will be no true equality at all. That means that every feminist needs to learn the difference between not being racist and being anti-racist in order to become a meaningful ally. A recent survey by Lean in 2021 discovered that 80% of white women describe themselves as racial allies, yet only 10% of Black women described their strongest allies as white. That means there's a clear disconnect between what you think you're giving and what we feel that we're receiving. Allyship has to be more than intent and empathy alone. For as long as white people believe racism is about hurt feelings that need to be empathized with in order to be a good ally, and not an entire system built on the oppression of non-white people, that allyship will always be toxic. The sad fact is that Black women cannot fight misogynoir without mainstream feminism. But feminism cannot truly call itself mainstream without equality for Black women. Because ain't I a woman too?